Hey guys, and welcome to another YouTube educational short. So today I'm going to come on and talk about some considerations that you might want to take into account in regards to the thoughts of anabolics or performance enhancing drugs. Now, I'm not going to come on and discuss any compounds in particular or any methods that you should and shouldn't be doing. It's more just some thoughts and things you need to take into account or things you should consider before even thinking about what compounds to do. Now, this video is inspired more from the amount of consult calls and inquiries I've had from individuals who have been using or have been advised to use certain drugs and don't seem to know the considerations to take into account or the effects or the side effects that potentially they may face when considering these types of drugs as well. Now, I think firstly, it's whether or not these compounds have a place in your journey or in your desired class or field. Now, if I put this into context, I'm getting many bikini girls contact me in regards to what anabolics they should and shouldn't be using or what they've been advised to take. And I guess for the class that they're in, the considerations or the compounds that they've been advised to take shouldn't even be considered. Now, obviously, the considerations of, say, a female physique competitor to a female bikini competitor, of course, they're going to have different risk versus rewards. They're going to have different avenues that they probably have to explore because they've probably explored all the others before. But there are so many ways in which an individual can choose to go enhanced, but they just don't seem to be discussed or known about as much as what they should. Now, again, I think, the ones that seem to be doing the rounds at the moment is the Anavar, the Primo, the Test, and this is for female competitors. Now, there are so many safer uses out there. There are so many models that have been clinically trialed and passed for human consumption. There are so many that are used for a health perspective as well as an anabolic or performance enhancing effect as well. But they don't seem to be known about. They don't seem to be discussed. They don't seem to be used. And for me, I mentioned this briefly in a podcast I did before. We start at ABC. We don't start at X, Y, and Z. And I'm not sure why they're not being discussed or they're not being advised more so. And I think this is why I wanted to do this video today, just to open some eyes and just raise some questions as to why you're being told you should do this, whether it's someone from the gym, whether it's a coach, whether it's a friend. There are so many safer use models out there. There are so many more things to consider. And it's almost as though these safer models are being demonized because they are seen as more harsh or as more risky, or as you have to be a seasoned pro bodybuilder to earn the rights and ranks to be using these types of compounds, when in actual fact, it's these compounds that are probably the safer one to use and probably should be your starting point rather than the end point or the point that nobody even considers because they see it as dangerous or irresponsible or whatever they're being branded as or why they're not being used. Again, another one that I think is a very, very common one is people choosing orals over injectables. Now, I'm not saying one's more favorable than the other, but I do know that if you are choosing an oral because you find it easier than using an injectable and you don't want to inject yourself, then you're probably using it for the wrong reasons as well. Orals will always come with another risk, especially again in the bikini realms, because they run the risk of virilization. They run the risk of irreversible side effects. Now, again, without discussing compounds, there are injectables out there that are much safer, that have no risk of virilization, but they don't seem to be discussed. And again, it raises alarms to me why this is not being discussed. Now, as an educator, as a coach, as a friend, whoever is giving this advice should be giving the full picture. This is option A, this is option B, this is option C, this comes with this risk, this comes with this risk, this comes with this risk. This is the tools, this is the information, this is everything you have laid out on a plate for you to make the informed decision that is best suited to you. But this doesn't seem to be the case, or at least not from the conversations that I'm having on the phone. So today's video was just inspired by conversations that I've had over the last couple of weeks to just open some eyes, give people a little bit more information that there are so many other options out there. There are so many websites and platforms that have this information out there as well. So to just go and do research, ask questions, ask whys, ask, are there other ways of doing things? Are there safer ways of doing things? There is no harm in you questioning people to learn. That is how we grow. That is how we adapt. That is how we progress. Just because a professional says something doesn't mean it's taken as gospel. I encourage everybody to ask me why. I give people valid information, reasons as to why I do certain things. So hopefully, again, this is another valuable video, valuable video for you guys that you can take home and make some informed decisions off. So thank you very much for listening, guys. Much love. Any questions, anything you need from me, please don't hesitate to ask. Much love, and I'll see you all soon.